have another clip that somebody sent me. They suggest you can hear the shooter down comment. Here's another stream with maybe a different audio source that we could listen to.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold on, your head is bloody. So we gotta move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Okay, watch out.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure the first words that Donald Trump says after being shot and hearing shooter down, clear, are, let me get my shoes. Oh, goodness. What freaking world do we... Can I just take a moment to say that if you need life insurance, go to metkevin.com/life. It's a paid affiliate of the channel, metkevin.com/life. Sign up for life insurance within his little...
Some of the shot, I was sitting to President Trump's right as he was facing the crowd. Hard to tell whether they came from one direction or from two different weapons. It wasn't clear. At least I couldn't tell. And then, sadly, someone behind me up in the bleachers was definitely wounded. And there was a lot of blood, and, you know, the police came in and helped carry that person out of the stands so they could get the care they needed. I'm not sure if others were injured or not. It was all, as you might imagine, very chaotic. But it was a very scary moment, obviously, because our president and innocent bystanders were under siege.
Yeah, sir, can you tell us how many people had gathered there today? It looked like quite the turnout. And also, can you just take us through what you saw from your perspective? Did it come from your left side or your right side, or where was it in relation to where you were located?
Yeah, I don't, it was an enormous crowd. I had asked a number of law enforcement officers, and they had said something around 15,000. So I don't know if that's an official number, but it was certainly huge. And it just kept coming and coming. It was building throughout the day. It's hard to tell, but at least some of the shot, I was sitting to President Trump's right as he was facing the crowd, and I was in the front row. It felt like some of the shots came from his left side, which would make sense because someone behind me was hit. So it felt like at least some came from that side of the crowd. And as I said, I couldn't tell whether it was one gun or two, but there were 7 or 8 shots, just one right after another.
Well, and Dave, I mean, you're an Iraq War vet. You have served us in uniform voluntarily like these law enforcement folks out there today. So it is unmistakable to you that these were gunshots. This was a firearm.
Yeah.
I found the shooter here. This is the shot. This is the shot I was looking for earlier with the shooter being removed.
I don't have the exact specific.
Hold on. I keep leaving other audio sources on. Silly me. Sorry. One sec. Here it is. This is what looks to be the shooter injured, but it's very difficult to see.
That stage,
Oh, he was on the stands. Oh, okay, so he was within the stands. The shooter was within the stands. It was that back left corner. So facing Trump, back left corner is where the shots came from. So it looks like here you've got at least, it looks like you've got a deputy here, maybe a second, third deputy here. You've got some National Guard folks here.
into words how shocking it was to the people in the crowd, and to me, as you're trying to figure out if you're okay, what's
Gloves
going
on.
Was he shot? Was he wounded? Then we heard him on
Oh yeah, there you go. There's somebody being held right here.
the microphone, Shannon,
There's likely the person's arm.
saying, "Let me grab my shoes," as they tried to take them
Yeah, here they are.
off. So we're just trying to figure out what happened.
You can't really see anything. Okay, so that was definitely not a rifle then. That was almost certainly now, as we expected, a pistol.
They can't hear my
Okay, so here what we're taking a look at once again is a live report down there on the ground in Butler, Pennsylvania, where we do have a reporter. I'm going to keep Donald Trump hosting this rally, speaking to his supporters.
That's where it was. That corner right there. These are other people evacuating that area. And now they're sort of moving the camera away from that. So that was the corner. Let's go back and look at that one more time.
on the microphone, Shannon, saying, "Let me grab my shoes," as they tried to take them off.
Can't really see anything.
Shot, was he wounded? Then we heard him on the microphone, Shannon, saying, "Let me grab my shoes," as they tried to take them off. So we're just trying to figure out what happened.
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. All right.
That's right. Shall I just read from that readout that a White House official just sent out that President Biden has been briefed. These are the officials. His director of the United States Secret Service, Alejandro Mayorkas, of course, the DHS chief, and Liz Sherwood Randall, assistant to the president and Homeland Security advisor. And the following members of President Biden's team participated in that briefing, Shannon. Jeff Zients, of course, the president's chief of staff, Steve Ricchetti, assistant to the president, counselor of the president, and Annie Tomasinini, which is the assistant and deputy chief.
So this means, by the way, someone inside the crowd. This was not from the outside in. Somebody inside the crowd had a handgun that they got into this rally and shot Donald Trump with. That's a clear Secret Service failure. Security is now being heightened at Trump properties across the country, as well as for members of the Trump family. Trump shooter now reported as dead. The individual, let's see here. It's unknown if this person was killed in crossfire or was the shooter. Okay. Let's see here. Now it says one person in custody after Trump incident. We're not sure if they're dead or alive. Jeez. Yeah, this is pretty anti-American. This is not the way to show you disagree with someone's politics.
We all know that President Trump has many, many threats that are probably coming at him on a daily basis. Obviously, Secret Service, they immediately shield the president or former president, and then they, the SWAT teams come in, they're working with local law enforcement, federal law enforcement, and they will hold the scene. And again, like has been mentioned by other guests, the FBI will arrive on the scene, and then the FBI will conduct the investigation. They'll collaborate their efforts.
Okay, somebody in the comments is apparently saying that it was Alec Baldwin who shot him. I just want everybody to know that I will always stand behind Alec Baldwin. Okay.
Very tragic for our country. Regardless of where one stands on the political spectrum, taking out your anger with violence is unacceptable. And, they got him out of the scene, thank goodness, but this could have ended very, very differently. And I've heard other guests, come on and say that, and I cannot express that enough. I have a very dear friend who was shot in the head, an FBI special agent, and she is not with us any longer. So this could have, just even...
Here's, it looks like, there are potentially 2 people dead. Trump was grazed. There are now reports of 2 people being dead. So we're not sure if the video we saw, okay, and somebody else, one person is in critical condition now. An audience member of the rally was killed, and the shooter is dead. Okay, so we have 2 people dead, 1 person critical. So now we have three serious, we have 3 issues here. We got Donald Trump grazed, 1 person in critical condition, and 1 person dead. So now it's unclear, obviously, if the shooter accidentally, shot audience members. It's likely. I don't think that the shooter who was shot was, maybe there could have been counterfire that then hit people who got caught in that crossfire. My assumption is it's likely that now that we know where the shots were coming from, I'm going to say it's likely somebody behind Donald Trump, especially with that graze, got the full brunt of those bullets. So I'm going to go back and see if we can get a clip of that actual shooting again, and then we'll be able to see if somebody else behind him is hit, potentially. But yeah, shooter confirmed dead, 1 person critical, 1 other person dead, and Trump is okay. But let's listen in to, see if I don't mess this up right here.
My country took over, and look what...
Hold on. Let's put that on normal speed.
Probably 20 million people. If you want to really see something to say...
Right? This is where the shot happens, okay? So you're going to have to watch really closely here. Actually, let's just go to slow-mo here. Ready?
And take a look what happened. Oh.
You see a lot of people duck down pretty quickly there. Actually, it looks like a boy right here. He ducks pretty quickly. It doesn't look like he got injured. Yeah, he ducked his head down fast, dude. That kid was on it. That kid had the fastest reaction time out of everyone. Somebody needs needs to hire someone. Somebody needs to hire him, get him trained. Jeez, look how fast this guy ducks, dude. His react. Watch right behind that sign. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody there is injured. But then again, it would presumably be more, given that we know the shot came from. Here's Trump. Oh, that shot's not that far away. Look at that. If this is indeed where the shooter was, I wonder if you can. I mean, the quality's not that great because obviously the camera's not focused over here. We think it's coming from here, right there. So let's look at that one more time. I wanted to see if the audience moves at all over here. This upper left corner. See this sign right here? Right under the sign. Look at this corner right here.
If you want to really see something to said, take a look what happened.
There are the shots. It's really hard to tell. Somebody says they saw a flash. Really? Let me see. So again, right here, I wish I had like an enhance, like CIA, like enhance. Okay, my eyes are kind of focused right here where my mouse is. Let's, I think I'm on the slowest of slow-mo here. Let's try one more time. Oh, yeah. Right here. I can't tell if that's a sign turning around or if that's a muzzle flash right there. It's really hard to tell. It's almost like they're using like the paper maybe as cover, right? Let's try again right here.
Something to said. Take a look what happened.
That's tough to tell. That's tough to tell. Oh, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Very, very, very sad day in America right here. Again, still one person critical condition. Donald Trump okay. One person, the shooter's dead. Audience member at the Trump rally also dead.
By an assassin's bullet. It is these people who stand up to run for president of the United States. They put their safety on the line every day, and these Secret Service heroes who surround him. I mean, think of this image of them literally body to body creating a wall around the person that they protect. And I heard you speak about this earlier, Shannon and Bill, but I mean, these guys we have an incredible team of people who protect presidents and presidential candidates in this country, and we need to be very grateful for them. And I would just stress that we're still waiting to learn the details about exactly what happened here and where this person who started this incident is right now. And that is the story of this evening. And I do expect, as I heard Bill say earlier, that we will likely hear from President Trump tonight. So we will stay tuned for that as well, guys.
Thank you, Martha. Martha McCallum joining us as our coverage continues live here in Milwaukee. And Shannon, just want to bring up, there's a lot of information out there from the Butler County, Pennsylvania DA. And he apparently, his name is Goldinger, Goldinger. And apparently he's speaking with a number of members of the press. None of this has been confirmed, so I just want to walk cautiously with it. But listening to David McCormick describe that man who was seated.
I don't know the legitimacy of this video footage here, but look at this. Again, this could be like a different event. This could be total BS. I have really, frankly, no way to vet this. But let me see what this is.
Come on, aquí va. We can see the guy there.
That's not in the
I
audience.
think they hit him because the guy looks dead.
That's crazy. So if that's not in the audience, then that goes back to the thesis of maybe it was a rifle. This is the thing, like nobody knows, right? We're just kind of trying to take information. So, but then why was an audience member shot over there at the left end of the stage? This is crazy. I'm also surprised that the top of these buildings weren't, like, surveilled. Like, how does somebody climb on top of a freaking building? And not get picked up by the by the Secret Service.
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó. You can see the guy there. I think they hit him because the guy looks dead.
Yeah, that person's obviously not moving right there. This is freaking crazy.
I had a phone call with former Ambassador Kip Tom, who was in the front row at this rally, sitting very close to Senate candidate David McCormick. And the first thing he said to me was, "I never thought this would happen again." He then went into details about what he saw. He said he saw gun smoke and bullets flying from multiple directions. And that's what we've heard from a number of people tonight, given their first eyewitness testimony being there. And he also had the same opinion that the president was lucky to be alive, which of course is what Senate candidate Dave McCormick also told you guys earlier about the current situation. So I'm sure we will hear from the president. We are 2 days from the RNC convention. He has every intention of moving forward and showing up there. It's pretty incredible to watch him walk off that stage shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." And I look forward to hearing what he has to say about this historic moment that we are watching. We always say we have a front row seat to history. And this is a terrible day for the country and the current situation that we're in.
Katie, thank you for that. Katie Pavlich joining us from Washington, D.C., and we'll see you in Milwaukee a bit later in the week. Shannon?
Yeah, let's check in with Alexis McAdams. She was there as this happened, and I believe she's got an eyewitness or maybe more with her. Alexis, we toss to you.
Yeah, so we were able to get out of that area after they turned it into an active crime scene, Shannon and Bill, and we were able to talk with some people who heard what we heard too, those several pops as they all took cover here in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm going to take you closer here to who we're talking to. So you guys are aiming in shock. One, you can't leave because they've closed down the roads, and two, you're still trying to figure out exactly what happened. What did you hear when you were inside of that rally?
I heard about 7 or 8 shots. She's better at this than me. I heard you talking.
What did you do as soon as you heard that? Did you try to get down?
No,
or?
I did not. I stood up and tried to film it, but it didn't work very good. They're the ones that hit the ground.
Okay. So walk me through, too, what you...
I would have taken a shot for me.
What you heard. I mean, you were pretty close, or where were you?
We were right behind where the chairs are at. And we started hearing, I thought it was firecrackers. And I'm like, who would be shooting off firecrackers in here? Well, then somebody started yelling, hit the ground, hit the ground. And when I looked over, then I saw the smoke from the gunfire. So then everybody hit the ground, and he kept standing. I was like, you got to get down, boy. You got to get down. They're going to shoot you. Because if they would have had, like, a machine gun, they could have taken us all out. So then we laid there for a while. We saw different places where the gunshots were at. And then they got President Trump down, Secret Service did, and they took him out of there and got him off of the stage. And he was bleeding. And so then my son and daughter-in-law was back behind.
All right, I'm going to flip off this. Someone's suggesting maybe get my shoes is like maybe potentially a code word or something that Trump might use. Maybe it implies like, I'm okay. I don't know.
Was that the threat has been neutralized, or the shooter has been neutralized. That actually now confirms what we heard the agents on the stage in that audio just a moment ago actually say. Now, I want to just,
they said, just interrupt you for a second. We heard those Secret Service agents say, shooter is down, shooter is down. Is that what you heard?
So that's actually really important, Wolf. And the reason being is because as the agents came in and pushed the former president down, and they basically they tackle him down, and they put themselves in between the former president and the threat. They're not going to move that former president or any protectee if there's active rounds coming in. So when we heard that word, the shooter is down, was really important. That was a key moment for the detail leader
to then make the call, we're going to move to the next terrain.
Okay, it sounds like there's a potential that the shooter on the building adjacent to the rally was taken down by a Secret Service counter sniper. So that would then reiterate that this video is potentially legitimate, that a Secret Service counter sniper heard the shot, flipped over, and basically shot back. That's freaking crazy. Oh my gosh.
Secret Service, the protective methodology is actually applied to this type of event. It's actually concentric rings of protection. What we're witnessing on air and looking at the stage is the closest ring to the protectee. But that ring radiates out in terms of law enforcement, special agents, private security firms. All of that combined create the security structure of this site. So what we don't know right now is who actually identified that threat in the moment and then neutralized
Jonathan, hold on for a moment.
Hold
on for a moment. The Associated Press is now reporting that, according to the local DA, the suspected gunman and at least one rally attendee are now dead. Very disturbing information. The local prosecutor says the suspected gunman and at least one attendee are dead. That's a significant development in and of itself. Right there, the shooter, the suspected gunman, as they're calling him, and one attendee is dead in this incident. Go ahead, Jonathan Wackrow. Finish your thought.
Well, I mean, so it talks about the gravity and the tragedy that just occurred, right? We have a member who attended this rally who is now dead. It talks about the dynamic and unpredictable nature that these threats present. But again, law enforcement trains for this. And Wolf, what I was saying just before that information was we did hear the initial gunfire. Then there was a slight pause, and then you heard rapid gunfire in response. So to me, just listening to that audio shows that there was a shooter, and then there was some response from law enforcement, and now we heard from Evan that the shooter was neutralized. We heard from the agents on the stage that the shooter was down. So that was a key moment for the agents part of the shift to then be able to feel that it was a safe enough moment, or there was a lull in the gunfire that they could move the president from the stage to the limousine when safe and when the appropriate assets were surrounding the former president, to include that tactical team that we're seeing. We're seeing the agents just create that bubble around the president as they're moving him off stage. What you're seeing again is, if you look into the crowd, you're
okay. This is unclear. There are some people saying this is not the person. Some people are saying it is, but some folks are apparently now posting that potentially this individual was the shooter, named Mark Violets, like Violet with an S at the end. Apparently someone who's posted anti-Trump videos and threatened violence on YouTube or social media or otherwise, and potentially the person on the rooftop. It's unclear right now. I haven't seen any kind of official confirmation of this, so who knows? This could be totally wrong. This could be some other random person. You always have to be careful when there's breaking news like this. It's very difficult to know exactly what is true and what isn't. What we have so far is, obviously, this is an assault on democracy. We have Trump that was grazed. We have one attendee dead, and one attendee in critical condition. It's unclear which one was the one that was dragged out on the left side of the bleachers that we saw. It's also unclear if that rooftop image that we saw was indeed the shooter, although it does appear there are now suggestions that the Secret Service counter sniper team was able to essentially react to the shooting and fire back, within moments of the shooting beginning. Then we have, this comment from Trump, "Let me get my shoes" when he gets up, which, right here he says, "Let me get my shoes, let me get my shoes." We're not clear if that's some kind of code, because, somebody saying, I got him, or whatever. I don't really know how his shoes came off, or what's going on there. obviously his MAGA hat was off, and one of the Secret Service agents it can be seen carrying that hat right there. So a lot of reaction, outpouring, obviously, all over social media, including Elon Musk making his official endorsement of Donald Trump. It's also talk that Donald Trump may have pledged donations to Donald Trump's, that Elon Musk may have pledged donations to Donald Trump's super PAC. Donald Trump again confirmed safe, and 2 other folks shot at the rally. I'm trying to see. It doesn't look like. Okay, Trump Jr. just posted on Truth. We will never stop fighting for America. Very clear, powerful message here. I suspect the impacts of this are going to be to increase the odds of voters voting for Trump, like actually voting. Because you could have people who support Trump but then don't get out to vote. But I think the get out to vote campaign, it gets, quite frankly, a lot more powerful after an instance like this. That's not to be, insensitive to the fact that Donald Trump was just shot at. It's just to state a reality. I believe if I press this button, yeah, there we go. This is my father will never stop fighting for America. This is the Truth Social post right here. This is the last Truth Social post we have. We don't have any Truth Social posts yet, other than some posts from Trump 4 hours ago. And so no posts yet. This was also supposed to be the event where Donald Trump's VP was going to be announced, or either today or tomorrow. So it's unclear when when the VP was going to be picked to accept that honor. But some folks think this was supposed to be that rally. Again, Elon Musk promoting that he is now fully endorsing Donald Trump. Let me take a look at this. What is this? An emergency room doctor. Let me pull this up. Emergency room doctor. This looks like somebody trying to help somebody in the crowd. I wonder how the folks in the crowd got shot. I mean, there'll be really big reconstructions of all this. But let's listen in here to this for a moment.
That's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got
was there only one person shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
Wow.
I was the only one who did it.
We need to evacuate everybody.
That's exactly.
What a badass. What a badass. He administered CPR and gave the guy breaths who was shot in the head and had apparently brain matter. That's crazy. Okay, let's go look at that. Let's look at the shooting one more time. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to pull it up in just a moment so we can listen to it here. But what a hero, honestly. What a hero, reacting to a shooting victim shot in the head, and then administering CPR and mouth-to-mouth. Okay, so, jeez, Lord, this is a terrible day. This is so sad. God. Okay. Okay, yeah, there's some more footage of the headshot victim. hold on, let's listen to this first. So it looks like here's Trump. Somebody over here gets shot in the head. Now I'm wondering, is that because of the angle, right? If you had the building over here, it's possible that if the person was lying down on the building behind these trees, that the person basically accidentally shot here, hit one of the audience members first, or hit Trump first, and then the audience member. I'm not entirely sure, but this could be the trajectory right here. Let's look at it one more time.
You.
Gavin, with the audio. Okay, here we go.
Just said, take a look at what happened.
I'm going to go back for a moment. Look at specifically this area to the left of the sign over here. I'm going to try to also get like a satellite view of this.
I really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hold, when you're ready, on you. Ready? Move! Move! Go!
Absolutely crazy. Okay, wow, jeez.
And make sure that he recovered and they got him off stage. But the whole audience, I don't think no one knew how to react at the time. It was a big surprise. Some people probably thought it was fireworks to start with. But as people exited, you heard all kinds of talk about, was it just fireworks or was someone shot or just, they didn't realize the president had been shot. So,
Kip, you were only about 40 feet away from the former president of the United States. To get into that rally, did you have to go through metal magnetometers?
Yes, everybody went through metal magnetometers.
Yeah, but again, we think those shots came from the outside, so it doesn't matter. This was literally an outside coming in shot. Also, I'm noticing Donald J. Trump's website loading pretty slowly, right? No, there we go. Okay, it's just the events page that's not loading. Everything else seems to be loading. Yeah, the events page just pinwheels. That's interesting.
Green, everybody.
And do you know how far away the suspected shooter was from the president?
I would have said if you would have went off to the side there, you're talking 40, probably 100 foot away, 120 foot away, maybe.
And you think people that far away went through metal detectors too?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they were sitting in the stages to the right and to the left, and then there was, of course, people in behind President Trump sitting behind him as well.
Yeah, so that's encouraging that at least security was tight. We don't know how this suspected shooter got as close as he apparently did to the former president of the United States and fired shots at the former president and in the process killed somebody who was just there. And then this shooter is now dead as well. We heard the Secret Service agents shouting out, "Shooter down, shooter is down, shooter is down." So we suspected that that shooter had been shot by local law enforcement or the Secret Service or the FBI or the military, all of whom protect a former president of the United States just as they protect a sitting president of the United States. Any other points you want to make, Kip, before I let you go?
No, I mean, it was after just a number of the shots came off that you could tell there was a different caliber gun shot. So, there was a lot going on there, but I'm saying it was after 5, 6, 7 shots, I heard a different caliber gun being fired. So I assume that's the Secret Service with their guns. They had him identified and was shooting at him.
Yeah, well, Kip, I'm happy you're okay, and a lot of other people are okay. This could have been, God forbid, even a whole lot worse than it already has been reported. Kip Tom, thank you very much for calling in. We appreciate it very much. John Miller is still with us, our chief law enforcement and intel.
All right, I think I have a little bit more color on this location. It's very it's very difficult to figure out. Obviously, trying to do this live is also challenging, but take a look at this. This is the shooter video, right? Shooter down video. And see the color of this this sort of metal structure here. Okay. Now we're going to compare that to where the rally is held here. It's the Butler Farm Show Inc. Fairgrounds. And there are a few buildings that look like this. There's this one, and this doesn't seem to have the right color. Neither do these, because these appear to have fencing around it. So it's unclear, but it's possible it could have been this. And it's also very difficult to tell where the trees are relative to this in terms of where the shot came from. I suppose it's also possible that the shot came from the right? And think about this. So if the shot came from the right trajectory, where these red barns are, then you could have also had a Trump grazed here, and then somebody hit here. So it'd come from this back right corner. So I'm gonna look one more time at the angles here of this, but it is quite challenging to figure out sort of the alignment. We also don't know the alignment of the stage, presumably because I do see the red roof here, and then it looks like the or the red side, the non-red sides here. Here's that red. Then you have maybe the non-reds and some more red, right? So red, non-red, red, somewhat aligns with maybe this. So maybe the stage is over here, which would imply the guy's maybe even on this. But that's so close. This one's further away, but doesn't align with somebody getting shot left of stage. I don't know. It's all speculation, obviously. But this is what the area looks like. Oh, you have an airport right there, too. So, I don't know. Okay.
Events. There's the counter-assault team. They're ready to engage anybody that comes forward as a threat, especially an armed threat. But there are also the counter-sniper teams. Now, this is a very challenging environment. You've got this field, this wide-open field. You have the president at former president at one of his rallies. And there's no high ground around it, except for these low rooftop buildings. And I'm being told by sources that the shooter had climbed up onto one of these single-story rooftops and used that to shoot over the fence into the event. He wasn't inside the event. So, Wolf, that is how the information is shaping up. Now, I'm going to preface this saying, of course, this information is early.
Okay, here's an interview with somebody who apparently and potentially saw the shooter get shot. So the counter-strike. Oh, Kevin. Sorry. If I leave, sometimes I leave some of these other video clips looping or running because of X just keeps looping them. And then I have to go figure out where it is and close it. My bad. Here we go.
Physician, let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the bench.
Oh, yeah, again, same problem. Hold on. I still haven't... Dude, I just paused this. Stop it, X. Yeah, I pause one and the other one starts playing. X, you're driving me nuts.
You weren't inside the event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw. So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us the Brinkles Farm.
Oh, interesting. Here you can see some more of the barns and set up outside. I do see someone in the comments here saying there's a video on X of the killer being dragged out of the crowd. We don't think that's the killer. We actually think that was a victim who was shot. Joe Biden just released a statement. We're grateful to hear Trump is safe. No place for this kind of violence. Must be united as one nation and condemn the violence. Okay, but let's go back to this story right here.
Farming greenhouse here. We had a party. And we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with the rifle.
There it is.
Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this.
That's why the Secret Service was so fast. I was wondering how the counter snipers were able to react so quickly. But what a failure. I mean, if it's even if it was 1 minute and somebody's like, there's a guy with a gun, get Trump off the frickin' stage and investigate it. All it takes is the officers, hey, reports of a guy with